sure.
All right, Rock Addicts, this is DJ REM, and I have Tobias from the band Katana on the line. How are you today, my friend?
Hello there. I'm doing great, thank you. We're in the middle of preparations for our release party that we're having for our new album today. So it's a busy time, but I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing really good, and I have to start off by saying that this new album, I was looking forward to this for a long time. And when you guys first posted the cover art, I was like, oh, that it was like almost like a tease.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It's been painted by the same guy who did the previous artwork, but this time he really overdid himself.
Yeah, he did. And I tell you what, I put the album in my iPod yesterday, and I listened to the whole thing while I was mowing, and I was just like, I think I was driving too fast.
Yeah, well, that's a good sign, I think, right?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. So what
Thank you.
did you use? What studio did you use? The same one as last time?
Yeah, it was the same as last time. Andy LaRock, the guitarist of King Diamond, his studio south of Gothenburg.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So, okay, so obviously you have this new album on. I guess can you just kind of tell us, you know, you kind of mentioned that you got the show tonight. What else is going on to help promote this album?
We are getting ready right now to do this release party tonight, and then first thing in the morning we're actually going on tour with another Swedish band called Hardcore Superstar, and we're driving down all the way down to Spain for a couple of dates down there. So that's going to be great. And then we're working on some more tours for the autumn right now, so I can't really say much about that, but the album is coming out this week, and I think next month in America, so you should definitely stay tuned for that, because we've been working on this a long time, and it's going to be a great album.
Yes, and since I had the luxury to hear it early, I agree.
Sorry?
I said since I've been able to listen to it before the actual release, I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So what kind of distributions are going to be? I mean, where are people going to be able to buy this once it's actually in stores and available?
It should be available pretty much all over the place. I know that at least the online stores have them ready, you know, Amazon and all those major places where you buy albums. But I think the distribution is pretty fine, actually. It was in a lot of local CD stores physically in America, I know, last time. So it should be the same thing this time, I think.
Very cool. And you guys, listenable records, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna this interview is gonna go out to a lot of new fans that are just gonna be learning about you, because I've been playing you on my show when I'm at a new station. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, you know, some of these questions are ones I've asked you in the past, but I'm just gonna kind of go through, if you don't mind, just to kind of give them a feel for what Katana is.
Absolutely, yes.
So can you go ahead and like introduce all the other members of the band and what their spots are?
Absolutely. We have Johan, who is our vocalist, and he's a great singer, and he's also responsible for a lot of the songwriting. We have Susanna, a girl, playing bass guitar, and that's a pretty cool deal. We don't really see her as a girl, you know. Everybody else sees her as a girl. She's just a guy in the band, but it's a cool dynamic to have. And obviously, we have Anders, our drummer, who is the oracle, the heavy metal oracle of the band. He's got pretty much every album that was ever released in the 80s and probably 90s and 70s as well. So he's the go-to guy for whenever you want to check out if a riff you've just written has been written before. He's the guy to go to. And lastly, of course, we have Patrick, our solo guitarist, who's done an amazing job on this last album and fits the band right as... I mean, he was the last member to join the band, and everything fell together at the time that he did join the band. So it's a pretty good group at the moment.
Very cool. And how long have you guys been together as a band?
The five of us have been together for 4 years almost now, but the band itself has been around for almost 10 years. So we've been doing this for a while, some of us at least. But I can't really imagine, you know, I can picture in my head it's been 4 years since we got together, just, you know, the 5 that we are today, and it's been going really fast.
And then, you know, with this new album you're getting ready to release, how long did it take you to write it, and who did most of the writing?
I think the songwriting is pretty much 50-50, me and Johan, our singer. And it took us about, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 months to write all the material. And obviously some of that were ideas that have been cooking in our heads for quite some time, but we really didn't have any time to really sit down and rehearse new songs, because the previous album, you know, we recorded that in 2009 and it wasn't released until last year. So we had a pretty busy time doing other stuff. But when we finally had that album released last spring, we just sat down and like, now we can finally work on new stuff, and it just all happened over the summer basically. And we recorded in November. We were in the studio for about a month and a half, and that was it.
Cool. Yeah, I know. When Clawhammer sent it to me, I was like, oh, thank goodness. So, yeah, I also once again want to thank Clawhammer for hooking me up with you again, and they seem to do good. So thanks to them.
Yeah, absolutely. They do an amazing job over there. So all kudos to them.
So, what are your musical influences? What kind of music did you listen to growing up that made you decide that, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Well, I think one of the main strengths that we have as a band is that all of us have pretty different musical backgrounds, but the thing that sort of unites us is the love for the early 80s heavy metal, when it was new and exciting and fresh. You know, the whole new wave of British heavy metal scene with bands like, you know, Saxon and Judas Priest and Grim Reaper, and obviously Iron Maiden, their first few albums. And I mean, we have listened to a lot of other stuff. I grew up listening to Kiss, so did Anders and Wasp, and Johan listened to a lot of like Europe, and also stuff like Led Zeppelin and Queen and Deep Purple. So I mean, we can cram pretty much everything into this music, and when it comes out the other side, it's still, you know, classic heavy metal, but with a diversity that I think makes us stand out from the other bands playing this kind of music today.
Yeah, and I think a band, you know, when people have a wide range of influences, I personally think it just makes they come up with better music. So not stuck like in one genre, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
So what kind of sacrifices do you guys have to make to be able to keep doing this? You know, what kind of... It's got to be tough at sometimes, I'm assuming.
You mean like personal sacrifices, or like musical sacrifices?
Yeah, personal sacrifices. I mean, obviously it's got to take a toll on family life and stuff like that for people. Yeah,
well, it's sure it does. We've been pretty fortunate, I guess, so far, because we've been able to do this. Like most of us have a job. I'm at the university right now, so I have a lot of free time. But we all had jobs, and we've been able to finance the band through that, at least. So we've been able to do stuff that you know, whatever you think of, can do it. But in terms of time, it's really difficult to balance everything between, you know, a regular life and being able to travel away and do a gig with just a few days notice. So but as long as we think it's fun, and obviously we love doing this, so it's not really a problem yet, but who knows.
Okay. Well, I hope it continues to not be, so you guys can keep doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, here's the age-old question. How did you guys come up with the name Katana for the band?
Oh, shit. That is... you have to go a long way back in time for that one. Our former guitarist and one of the founding members of Katana, Oscar, he had this thing for Japan back then. And I mean, as I said, this is almost 10 years ago. were like 18, 19 years old, and obviously we set out to be rock stars. We set out to conquer the world, as like every band does at that age. So
exactly.
He went into this Japan thing, and we just decided, he wanted something that would sound cool and work over there in Japan. So Katana, we like, yeah, that's a cool band name, and we were just shocked that nobody, we found a couple of demo bands across the world with that name already, but nothing big, and we were like kind of surprised about that, because it's such a great name for a heavy metal band that we couldn't believe that nobody had already taken it. So it was perfect.
Yeah, and I got lost in thought there. I remember last time we talked, you mentioned on the first album, there was a lot of like Japanese influence, like in the songs. So did you guys kind of keep going with that theme in this new album?
Yeah, well, we try to have it in there, but not too much of it. So there's obviously there's the song Kublai Khan, which is also the song that is portrayed on the cover artwork, and that is a pure Japanese mythological / historical tale of the Mongolian emperor who tried to invade Japan and got his whole fleet wrecked in a big storm. So that's kind of a cool theme to write a song about. But other than that, I think we have 2 or 3 songs that have more or less vaguely Japanese themes. But then we write other stuff as well. So we try to keep it in there, but not too much, because we don't want to be a concept band in that sense, really. So it's fun to throw it in every once in a while, but we're not limited by that inspiration.
Right. Cool. So if I grabbed your iPod from you right now, what would I find you listening to?
Right now, you'd find actually Steelwing's new album, which is another great band from Sweden, who are roughly the same genre that we play in. They released their new album in January, and I've listened to that a lot. It's a really great album. So check out Steelwing if you like Katana. I think you will like Steelwing, definitely.
I will. I'm writing it down right now to check them out.
Yeah, the album is called Stone of Alienation. It's a pretty cool album.
And what was that band that you mentioned that you're going to be doing some shows with?
Hardcore Superstar. It's like sleaze heavy metal kind of band from Gothenburg, Sweden.
Okay, I'm going to check them out too.
Yeah.
So, some cars going by. What sets you guys apart from other bands? There's obviously these days there's a lot of metal bands out there, and the ability to be able for people to record on their own, or anybody can go into a studio these days. What sets you guys apart?
Yeah, well, I think that there's actually a lot of things that sets us apart. First of all, it's the thing that we are trying to target, this early 80s heavy metal thing. That was something that we felt was unique to our music at the time that we started. Since then, obviously, there's been this whole resurgence of bands coming up from all over the world, especially from Sweden and from Canada, with a lot of great bands playing, this really old school type of heavy metal. But I think that what sets us apart is that we're not as limited to that aspect of it. We're trying to get really high-end recordings, making the music sound the best that it can sound, no kind of low-budget recording stuff. And obviously what I said earlier about the influences, what comes out the other end will be old-school heavy metal, but what we put in there from the beginning, is everything from Kiss and Queen and ABBA, and obviously there's a lot of Maiden and Priest, and we just mash these things up, and out comes great music as we see it.
Right, I agree.
I think that's the thing that we're trying to do. We try to make it sound old school, classic, basic heavy metal, but there are a lot of influences in there that you wouldn't find in any other band playing the same kind of music.
What's What's a band that you would love to do a show with? Who is like that dream band that you would love to play with?
Dream band. Yeah, well, there's a lot of those, aren't there? Um, I would love to say, Iron Maiden or Kiss or Saxon or Accept or any of those bands. And it might happen, might not. They're getting old. They're not touring as much as they used to do. At least some of them aren't. But I mean, that would be absolutely awesome. I mean, to go out and for a great band like that, show the audience and the band itself what it was like 25 or 30 years ago when they started out themselves, and you kind of give them a little feeling for what they actually started. That would be absolutely great. But there are a lot of new bands touring a lot today, like for example Steelwing and Canadian bands like Cauldron and Skullfist and all these great bands from roughly the same genre. That would be really great to tour with, because I think that together we have a pretty big audience that would love to see such a show.
Yeah, very cool. What's the biggest show you guys have played? Have you guys like done a real big festival or anything?
Yeah, we played Wacken Open Air in Germany 2 years ago. That was by far the biggest show we've ever done.
Okay, here's a new question I've started asking. This one I have never asked you before. Who in the band spends the most time in front of the mirror?
That would be a close shave between myself and Johan, but I think Johan. I mean, it might be me because I have more hair than him, so it naturally takes longer for me to get ready. But he's the guy with the makeup and the getting ready for the show kind of attitude, and you wouldn't dare bother him when he does that. But I shouldn't blame only him. I've a fair bit of vanity in myself, so me or him, definitely.
Well, you gotta look good when you go on stage. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean that's important to us. I mean, one of the things that got us started with this music and made us feel like we really should put our efforts into this kind of music is the fact that today, people go up in their street clothes and play on a stage, and I've no use for that. When I go see a show, I want to see these people on stage being larger than life. I want to see Kiss, and I want to see there and just ask myself where the hell did they get all these stuff, with the makeup and the clothes and everything. And if 4 or 5 guys go up on stage and play like it's like they are anybody, then the magic is lost. So that's really important to us.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I don't think people pay to go to a show to see people in jeans and a t-shirt. I mean, I don't.
No, obviously not. I mean, you go to a concert to see a show. You don't go there just for the music. You can listen to the music at home. You want to be blown away.
Right.
It's as easy as that.
All right. Anything else you would like to tell the world? Anything I haven't asked you that you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, I guess we can talk for hours about that. But the most important thing is obviously that the new record, Storms of War, will be out in Europe this week and in the States in a month from now. And you should definitely check it out. Listen to the songs online, and if you like it, buy the album. And please post on our webpage, Facebook page, and say you like the music. And hopefully we'll see as many of you guys out there on the road someday as possible.
Yeah, and I hope you come to the States. That would be killer.
Yeah, we hope so as well. We're definitely working on it. I mean, we only have one direction right now, and that is, full speed ahead. So someday.
What kind of, this is something I've never asked. What kind of guitar do you use?
I have an Ibanez Iceman, the new issue that came out a couple of years ago, which is a really good guitar. But I also use a Gibson Explorer 76, which is really, really awesome. I don't use it as much as I would like to because it weighs a fucking ton. I'm not kidding you, because the guy I bought it from, he'd made this pick guard himself from stainless steel. So the pick guard weighs almost as much as the guitar, and the Gibson Explorer, if you've ever held one, is a pretty heavy guitar. So, 1 hour on stage with that guitar, and I need like a physical therapy after that. So I don't use it as much as I want to, but I'm going to use it tonight. That much I can do.
Cool. What kind of amps do you guys use?
We used, both me and Patrick, we used the Marshall JVM that came out a couple of years ago. It's both of us and Andy LaRocque, who was actually the one who told us about this amplifier from the beginning when we were recording the previous album. All of us say it's the best amplifier that Marshall has ever put out there. It sounds absolutely amazing, and it has this fantastical digital footboard, like a foot switch that you can program. It's fully programmable to do whatever you want to. If you want to, change the volume and change to another sound on the amplifier and put on some reverb and activate the effect loop, you can do all that in just one switch, which is fantastic if you're playing live, because one of the most difficult things if you want to have good sound on stage, you have to have this pedal board with 50 fucking pedals in front of you, and half the song is already done before you've managed to put everything in position. So
right.
It's a fantastic sounding amplifier, and it's really, really convenient when you're playing live.
Cool. How long does it take you guys to set up the stage and all your gear and everything before you do a show?
We've actually been practicing that bit quite a while, so we can, if it's just a basic show, I mean, like tonight when there's a release party and everything, we have like a stage kit that is the biggest we've ever had, and that I don't even know how long that's going to take to set up, but if it's a basic show, we can probably get ready in 15 minutes if we have.
Cool. Okay, man. Well, I thank you a bunch for taking the time to talk to me and talk about the album. Very cool.
Thank you very much for liking the album and for talking about the album and for showing interest in us. It's great to be able to talk to you, and hopefully a lot of people will hear this and check us out.
Yeah,
obviously.
And what I've started doing since our last interview is I actually upload all these to YouTube now. They get a lot more hits. Yep. So once I get the, I have to make a little cover, a little art, a little, like a little promo flyer for it, and then I'll get it uploaded to YouTube, and I'll share that on your guys' page, and I'll email it to you too.
That sounds great, and we will be having video from this evening for the release party. So as soon as I have that uploaded to YouTube as well, we're gonna link it to the interview so people can check it out, because it's gonna be one hell of a show. I can say that.
Yeah, I can't. I look forward to seeing that. You're gonna record the whole night?
That's the plan, and
Very cool.
I think so.
Good. Yeah, please let me know when that's up so I can check it out, because obviously I can't just come to Sweden. So.
No, that's too bad. But I will definitely let you know as soon as it's up.
All right, cool, man. All right, one last thing. I need some new radio tags from you, buddy.
Yeah, of course.
So. The first one, if you can say, this is Tobias from Katana, and you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Yeah, I think I can manage that. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Hello, this is Tobias from Katana, and you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Very cool. And then if you can make me a second one specifically for me that says, the same thing, but you can add in there that you're listening to DJ REM at rockaddictradio.com.
Yeah, sure. Hello, this is Tobias from Katana, and you're listening to DJ REM at rockaddictradio.com.
Okay, man. Very cool. Once again, I appreciate it, and have a great show tonight. I'm sure you guys will rock the place, so.
Thank you very much. We are planning to do just that.
All right. Take care, man.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Yep, bye.